Hello everyone, Steven here from Redolescence with another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 favorite fragrances for the spring of 2014, and this is going to be the niche edition. I have not done a designer edition for this video just yet. I may be releasing that toward the end of this month, maybe early next month, but this is going to be the niche list and for the spring. Now, of course, these fragrances, they could be worn in the summer, some of them could even be worn in the fall, but these are just the fragrances that I'm personally going to be wearing in the spring. This isn't like top 10 best fragrances. These are just the ones that I'm going to be wearing, the ones that I'm probably going to be craving, and the ones that I already have been wearing this spring. So with that being said, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. If you've watched my top 10 lists in the past, you know that this is a list that I compiled myself. I didn't find this online or anything like that. And these are fragrances that are available to me in my collection. And yeah, just fragrances that are available to me. So if XYZ fragrance didn't make this list, it might just be because I don't own the fragrance. So just please keep that in mind, and I hope you guys enjoy. So thank you so much for watching, and again, top 10 favorite fragrances for the spring of 2014 niche edition. I usually don't have any honorable mentions, but today I do have an honorable mention. This was at a tie for number 10 on my list. So I figured I'm just going to leave this number 11 just because it's not, I'll be honest, it's not a favorite of mine, but I think it's a really great fragrance, perfect for the spring. This one is actually from the house of Odin, and this fragrance is called Odin 04 Petrana. What you get with this fragrance is it's a mix of violet and iris, and you know that violet is a really classic masculine note in fragrances. It could be feminine at times too, depending on what other notes you pair it up with, but it has that classic aspect to it, but then at the same time it has the iris, which has been used very, very contemporarily in a lot of men's fragrances, namely Dior Homme, as well as some niche fragrances. I'm thinking Tuberose 1 by Histoire de Parfum. So it mixes the classic with the modern, and you would think that the interplay of notes would clash, but they actually complement each other very well. So Odin 04 Petrana, honorable mention. Really nice fragrance, very refined, perfect for like an upscale event, suit and tie, that kind of deal. So number 10 on my list, this fragrance is criminally underrated. It's from the house of Le Labo. I know whenever you hear Le Labo, you might hear fragrances like Rose 31, Poivre 23, which is a city exclusive fragrance with a $300 price tag for a 50 ml bottle. This one is not a city exclusive. This is one of their standard line. It was actually one of the very first fragrances that were introduced to the company. This is a Maurice Roussel creation. It's not Labdanum 18, but this is a great fragrance for the spring. It revolves around the note of jasmine, and this fragrance is called Jasmine 17. I have done a review on this fragrance. This is a great fragrance. There's citrus in here, there's neroli, petitgrain, jasmine of course, which gives it that unisex but very clean smell to it too. Initially I thought it was a little bit too feminine, but the more I wear it, the more that faint sweetness in the background, probably due to the vanilla and the amber, really starts to come through. But then it has the citrus qualities and the jasmine, which really, really clean it up. And when you think of fragrances like Dior Homme, Aqua Universalis Forte, it's really the florals that give it that clean, crisp, refined quality. That's exactly what's going on in this one too. So I think it's a great fragrance, perfect for the spring. Jasmine 17 by Le Labo, a Maurice Roussel creation, number 10 on my list. So number 9 on my list is a fragrance by Sidonie Lancaster. Lancaster has done fragrances for By Kilian, about 5 of them I think. Cruel Intention, Straight to Heaven. Lancaster has also done fragrances for Frappin, like 1270, Luministe, and this one is another really, really good fragrance. Probably my favorite from this house. My second favorite I think is Chambre Noire, really great fragrance with that unorthodox papyrus note. This one is actually called Lumiere Blanche. So this is from Olfactive Studios. This is a great fragrance. It has aniseed in it, or star anise rather. There's almond and vanilla. This is just a really great, really nice fragrance. Very kind of a little powdery, not very powdery, but I think it's just perfect for the springtime. This is definitely a fragrance worth checking out. There's a very strong cardamom note. I think that's the strongest note in this fragrance. Cardamom backed up with musk, but it doesn't smell dirty. It's a very clean smelling musk. So if you're into that stuff, I would highly recommend you check out this fragrance. Really nice fragrance. If you can think of it like a more classier version of Nasamado's Silver Musk. I know this has not been said, but I do get a lot of cardamom from it. This is a more classier version. I think it's because of that sweetness in the background, like the vanilla and the almond. Really nice fragrance, number 9 on my list. Number 8 on my list is a fragrance that actually made my summer list from last year. This is a Xerjoff, and it's part of the Shooting Stars collection. The more that I wear this fragrance, the more that I fall in love with it. I think this is just a really, really nice fragrance. Some have said that it's a little bit feminine, and initially I thought that this fragrance was rather feminine as well. I do think it has a unisex quality to it, but at the same time it does lean a little bit more over into feminine territory. I think initially I had said that it's like 60% feminine, 40% masculine. The more I wear it, the more that unisex, you know, quality or mindset really starting to become instilled in me. I think it's because of the note of the African orange flower that this fragrance gets dubbed as feminine, but then it has this ambery undertone that's so heavenly. And it really is one of my favorite fragrances from the house of Xerjoff. And this one is called Dajala. Really nice fragrance. Again, it has that amber quality to it. It's not overly resinous, and then it has this African orange flower which gives it that orangey overtone, but at the same time it's floral, but not in an overly feminine kind of way. And that's what I really like about this one. Again, very crisp, very refined, perfect for a suit and tie. Just a really versatile and great overall fragrance. I think it's perfect for the spring. So that's going to be number 8 on my list, Dajala from the house of Xerjoff. Number 7 on my list is a super versatile fragrance. This is the closest I think that I have gotten to a signature scent, because whenever I can't think of anything else to wear, I really reach for this one. I know I've spoken about this before on my channel. This actually made my starting lineup as my signature scent, or the closest thing to it. This is from the house of Christian Dior. This is the big size of the La Collection Privée. This is Bois d'Argent, which translates to wooded money or wooden money. This is a beautiful composition by Annick Minardo. Think myrrh and iris, a little bit of cypress in the background. It has this ethereal quality to it too. Some say it's powdery. I think it's more balmy. I think it's just a beautiful fragrance and definitely a masterpiece. Beautiful composition by Annick Minardo, and definitely made my list for spring. Very versatile. I think you can wear this all year round. Does really well in the fall. Would do pretty well in the summer, I would imagine too, but in the spring I have been reaching a lot for it. And as you can tell by the level of the juice, for a Eau de Parfum concentration, this is the big size. I have actually worn a lot of it. So number 6 on my list, Bois d'Argent by Christian Dior. Not number 6, I'm sorry, number 7 on my list. Number 6 on my list is another fragrance that I have been wearing a lot. I wore it a lot last year. It made my summer list from last year, but the more that I wear it, the more that I realize it's actually a really good spring fragrance too. It does play on the note of lavender. It has a strong lavender note, which kind of gives it like this classic fougere feel, but there's a lot more going on in there. There's vanilla. It doesn't quite have the sandalwood like this fragrance does, but it has almond in the background too, which gives it this really, I don't want to say unusual because it's not unusual, but it's a different quality about it that I really do enjoy. From the house of Histoire de Parfum, this fragrance is called 1725. Casanova. This is a really nice fragrance. I actually just upgraded to the big size. Really nice lavender fragrance. Again, like I said, it is a little bit powdery though, so I want to get that out there. If you're not a fan of powdery fragrances, you're absolutely going to hate this one, so that's going to be my disclaimer for this video. So just be on the lookout for that. But I think it does have a very sophisticated and a very gentlemanly type of a smell to it. So if that's what you're looking for, I think this is going to be a perfect fragrance for you, for your collection. Definitely worth sampling. This one, along with 1899, I would even recommend Tuberose 1 if you're a fan of Dior Homme. So definitely a house to check out. Histoire de Parfum, this one is 1725. So number 5 on my list, this is a staple in my collection. This is my second bottle of this fragrance. Just an absolute beauty in my collection. I can't get enough of it. I know this is a fragrance that I've gotten a lot of compliments with. I think it's perfect for the spring. Again, it does play on the note of jasmine, as does my number 10. This one I think is a little bit more masculine. Some people have said that it's feminine. I'm looking at you, Dan, my Mickers, but it's one of my favorite fragrances. It really is, and I feel just really comfortable wearing it. Love wearing this fragrance. So number 5 from the house of Amouage. This one is Reflection Man, or Reflection for Men. Again, you have this spicy quality because of this pepper note that it contains. You have the jasmine in there too, just a pinch of sweetness in the background. I know some people have said, you know, the neroli and everything, some people have said it bears similarities to a designer, Le Male by Jean Paul Gaultier. I really don't see that. This just comes across very natural, and of course it does have like that silver frankincense DNA that many amouage fragrances tout to contain, but it's really more about the jasmine, the neroli, and that spicy quality in the background too. Great fragrance from the house of Amouage, Reflection Man. Number 4 on my list, this is a staple in not only my collection, but I think everyone's collection. This is the epitome of a spring fragrance. Whenever you think spring, you can't help but, you know, think of this fragrance. So this is, you know, that probably already just gave it away. It's from the house of Creed. And this fragrance is Green Irish Tweed, you know, the black bottle. Supposedly blown from the sands of Greece. This really is a beautiful fragrance. Not just the bottle, which is really good at keeping fingerprints, but also the fragrance itself. The lemon verbena with the violet and the citrus and the green qualities to it is just so evocative of spring. And I think that that's what makes it such a great fragrance, very appropriate for the season. Of course, it does get comparisons to Davidoff's Cool Water, which was released in '88, Pierre Bourdon. This one was Olivier Creed in 1985. So this preceded it, and despite the controversy and everything, I think that this is, of course, much more natural, and there is a distinction between the two. So if you have tried Cool Water and you say, I don't know if I necessarily need to try Green Irish Tweed, yes, you need to try Green Irish Tweed. Do not rule it out. Great fragrance. I'm definitely going to be reaching a lot for it, as I already have been. So great fragrance. Number 4 on my list, Green Irish Tweed from the house of Creed. Very versatile. And it also makes a very good casual fragrance as well. Number 3 on my list is a newer acquisition. I have been wearing it a lot. I probably wore this every day for the past 3 days. And if you're a fan of vetiver, this is a fragrance you have to check out. Original Vetiver by Creed almost made this list because it does have that fresh quality to it. But again, I just couldn't help think of, am I going to wear it much more than I'm going to wear these fragrances? And the answer ended up being no, so I didn't put it on here. But this is the vetiver fragrance that is going to take the cake for my list. This is a Xerjoff fragrance. I just want to put this out there. If you're a fan of Iris, and if you're a fan of vetiver, you're a fan of fragrances like Vetiver Tonka by Hermes, or even Vetiver Dance by Tower Perfumes, you absolutely have to check out this fragrance. I remember smelling it in store at Mint New York when they used to carry Xerjoff fragrances, and just trying it on paper, it really didn't do anything for me. It didn't stand out quite the way that Alcat and Mamluk and Dajala did. But then when I finally got a chance to try it on skin, it really made a world of a difference. This is from the house of Xerjoff, again, from their Shooting Stars collection, and this fragrance is called Modoc. This is a beautiful iris fragrance with vetiver in it, and it does kind of have like this leathery quality to it too, which is a little bit unusual, but when you try it, the quality is second to none. And it's really, I think, more about the vetiver and the iris, but then there's also like this sweet dry down to it too, which makes it a little evocative of fragrances like Vetiver Tonka and Vetiver Dance, but it's really in a league of its own. I think they're all great fragrances. This is like the more upscale, refined version. Maybe it's just the house and the quality and the presentation, the bottle that really speaks that, but the smell itself is very, very refined, and it does have a professional aura to it. I would highly recommend people try it out. From the house of Xerjoff, it's called Modoc. Definitely climbing my list of favorite Xerjoff fragrances. Number 2 on my list is a fragrance that I was recently turned on to by a very good friend of mine, Renee Zayas, fellow YouTube fragrance reviewer. And when I got a chance to try it out, I didn't get it at first, and I really trusted him on it, so I committed and I bought a bottle. And when you wear this stuff, it really sheds to light how great of a fragrance this really is. Again, just like Dajala from the house of Xerjoff, this is an African orange flower fragrance, or an orange blossom fragrance, and it also has sweet myrrh with some cocoa to completely envelop the entire composition, and vanilla to sweeten things up. But this is the perfect blend of floral and citrus and sweet. This is from the house of Profumum Roma, and the fragrance is called Batito de Ali, which translates to the beating of wings, or the flutter of wings. And that's exactly what you get from here. It's floral, but not overly floral. It's definitely not feminine. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. You do have a couple of sweet elements working together to give off that kind of vibe, but I just think it's a well-rounded fragrance, and I think it has that refined quality to it because of the citrus. I think it's perfect for casual wear, perfect for formal wear, definitely a versatile fragrance. And the concentration on this stuff is 40%. That's absolutely outrageous. And when you spray it on your skin, you see just how oily it is. 2 sprays of this fragrance is going to last you a very, very long time. I don't think that this one is going to last you as long as fragrances like, I'm thinking fragrances from the house like Fumidus or Patchouli or Santalum. I don't, you know, like the ambers and stuff like that. The dark juice, I think, really does denote that, you know, that fragrance is going to last a long time. But this one also gives me really good projection, great longevity, and I've also gotten a few compliments from it too, so that's a plus. Number 2 on my list, Patito Dali from the house of Profumum Romo. So that leaves me to the number 1 fragrance on this list, and I put this fragrance on my list last year for summer, and I loved it at first sniff. But I was still a little bit confused by it, and I have to admit I still am a little bit confused by it, but the more that I wear it, the more that this fragrance really starts to bloom and blossom on my skin, and I start to understand it and empathize with it and connect to it on an emotional level the more and more that I wear it. And I think that this fragrance is, I know it's a masterpiece, honestly it is, and I don't use that word too often, but I do really think that this one is. It's just a brilliant composition by Bertrand Duchâteau, and I'm sure those of you who know his works know that he is synonymous with just creativity and masterful compositions. I'm thinking of Fusion Sacré Louis, Jubilation 25, you know, I know he's done a lot of L'Artisan fragrances. I just think he, you know, is a master at what he does, and this fragrance is no exception to that. This fragrance is the epitome of spring. And there's no fragrance in this list that I want to reach for and wear more often in the springtime than this fragrance. It's from the house of Eau de Thalie, and this fragrance is called Jardin du Poète. Those of you who have tried this fragrance know exactly what I'm talking about. The name translates to the poet's garden, and that's exactly what you get from this fragrance. I know you have the Jean-Claude Elena fragrances, the Un Jardin series, Un Jardin sur le Nil, and you know, and the different fragrances sur le toit. This one could have very easily been a fragrance in that line, but this one, it just smells so natural. You know, what you get is this viney quality. It's green, it's grassy, it's leafy. It opens up with this really tart and citrusy grapefruit note that's just so authentic to my nose. And just a blend of the different ingredients, it really smells like you're standing in a garden and the foliage is growing and the flowers are blooming right in front of you. And it's such a beautiful fragrance. I've never smelled a fragrance interpretation of a garden before that's as authentic as this fragrance is, and I think this exemplifies the artistic quality and the aesthetic merit that Bertrand Duchâteau has earned through his compositions, and it truly is one of my favorite fragrances. But I don't think that this is going to be a love at first sniff, you know, fragrance for everyone. So this is definitely a sample. Please go out there and get a sample of this fragrance, but do not blind buy. I would definitely not recommend that. I know, you know, I'm personally really looking forward to wearing this fragrance. I've already been wearing it. Actually, I was wearing this in the winter. That's how crazy I am. I couldn't wait to wear this fragrance this spring. But definitely worth a sample, and I think you're gonna like it, especially if you like the fresh, green, grassy, garden type fragrances. This is the end of the road. So guys, thank you so much for watching. These have been my top 10 or 11 favorite fragrances for the spring of 2014, and this is the niche edition. Please stay tuned for the winter, the designer edition. It is coming out soon, and I really hope that you enjoyed my list. So if you own or have tried any of these fragrances, please let me know what you think by leaving a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free, shoot me a message. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Steven with another video from Red Essence. See you next time.